Our world is a hurting place right now. And I think there's a lot of people that are just wondering, like, what can we do?
I come before you now, your presence in this house.
I'm from Canada, and Canada is in a rough place right now. Recently this week, there was a Muslim family that was killed because of their faith in an act of terrorism. Earlier in the week, we had an uncovering of the horrors of residential schools come to light again. And we had the fallout of COVID and all of that stuff. And I think people we're in a place of desperation. We're longing for hope. I think a lot of people are asking the question, like, what can we do? Like, how can we change our world? And I think there are some profound words of wisdom from Mother Teresa, St. Teresa of Calcutta. She said, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. And I think that is probably some extremely overlooked advice, because we remember that if we want to change the world, it begins with us. It begins with our surroundings and our families and our neighbors and our friends and everyone who is in our midst. And I think so often we think big, which is good to do at times. We think like we need to introduce policies and we need to do all of these enormous, monumental things. And some of that stuff is great. But first, I think what we need to do is we need to go home and love our spouses and our kids. We need to demonstrate holiness and virtue and charity and love for a world who is longing for something more. And yeah, maybe we've seen people who have shown really poor examples of living that out in their lives, and that's a horrible thing. That's so unfortunate. But we have the opportunity to be able to live this out to our immediate surroundings, to our family, to our friends, to our neighbors, to those who are hurting and to a broken world. We get to live that out in holiness, in virtue, and in love. And when we do that, just imagine the difference that that'll make. A simple act of love and charity and kindness can be transformative in the life of somebody else. Let's start changing the world by allowing God to change our own hearts. And maybe if we're struggling with that, maybe we say, God, would you just replace my heart of fear or doubt, my heart of malice and anger? Would you replace that with your peace? Would you give to me a renewed sense of your presence in my life? Let that be our prayer as we begin to live holiness, virtue, and charity to a broken world. In our homes, in our families, in our marriages, to our neighbors, and to all those around us. If you want to change the world, go home and love your families. By the grace of God and the power of the Holy Spirit at work in our lives.
Over me, wash over me, God, take this heart, transform it.